He looked like the best running back in college football.
And straight ahead for the touchdown comes James Conner.
But he was 1 week away from dying.
My heart right here, a tumor's growing all around it. The doctor told me I had a week left. I'd have died on the field.
After 8 months of hell, he pulled off one of the greatest comebacks football has ever seen and turned himself into an NFL star. James Conner grew up in Erie, Pennsylvania, as the youngest of 5 brothers. Every day was chaos, wrestling, fighting. They even put James in the dryer once.
I would probably killed him at least twice. I can remember right now. He's tough.
But on the field, nobody could see that toughness. James sat behind an All-American running back and barely saw the field. So he swallowed his pride and switched to linebacker, where he turned into a monster.
You're too little! He went too little! Get some of that!
I went to the prospect camp at Pitt. They gave me a full scholarship at the camp. So I'm like, shit.
Pitt offered him as a defensive end, but James's dream was always to play running back. So in his senior year, when the All-American left, he went for it. And in his first year as a starter, he went over 1,800 yards and scored 30 touchdowns.
Put our entire team on his shoulder and carried us to greatness.
Pitt was the only school to offer James a running back. Most people expected him to redshirt, but James had other plans. By week 2, he shocked everyone, going over 100 yards and scoring 2 touchdowns. And in the final game of the season, he broke a school record, going for 229 yards. But he wasn't done. This dude started rushing the passer.
When you see him, he's got a hold of Conner, who not only has rushed for over 220 yards tonight.
James was named Bowl MVP. He switched his number to 24, honoring Marshawn Lynch, who was his idol, and he did him justice. 4 touchdowns in the season opener, 214 yards in game 2, and in November, he was already over 1,000 yards. At this point, Conner looked unstoppable, and somehow, this dude lined up on defense again.
Here he is. Watch his spin move. Upfield, spin back to the inside, and he's going to get on the quarterback.
By the end of the year, the kid who was recruited as defensive end had rushed over 1,700 yards and scored 26 touchdowns. So he got rewarded, and he beat out Jameis Winston, who was incredible at the time, for ACC Player of the Year. Now going into his junior year, the hype was real.
And the Cowboys at the practice every day, they got the 4th overall pick. So I'm like, shit, I'm about to go 4th overall to the Cowboys. Grew up a Cowboys fan too, actually. Junior year come, I'm like, I'm about taking a Heisman.
He looked me dead in my eyes and he said, bro, if I don't go to the NFL, I feel like a failure in life.
But in the first game of the season, life happened.
Get the ball, just spin off of a defender, take a shot on my leg, and I went down.
How are you, James? Everyone wants to know.
I'm good, be back next week, I'm all right.
But the next day, the MRI came back.
Doctor tells me out for the season, needs surgery with torn MCL. Started crying like a baby.
Just like that, the hype was gone. No Heisman, no Cowboys, and James was stuck on the sidelines. Still, he set a goal, make a comeback later that season. But a couple months into the rehab, he felt something was off.
Night sweats, bro. I'm getting like 15 minutes of sleep a night, like going through it. You know, sleep. Who don't love sleep? That's the worst shit in the world.
Most necessary thing, yeah.
Ever.
While I'm lifting, anytime I'm straining a little bit, you know, I feel like my head is getting like pumped with air. Like it feels like my head is this big, and I'm like, why does my head keep swelling up?
So doctors ran some tests, and on Thanksgiving Day 2015, James Conner got the worst news of his life.
Results came back in. Mom was there, the trainer was there, and he said it's compatible with lymphoma. I'm like, what is that? And he said it's a form of cancer. I'm like, wow.
The tumor was wrapped around his heart, pressing on the veins that supplied blood to his brain, and it was growing fast.
The doctor told me I had a week left. He said, you got about a week. If you didn't get this treated, you had about a week. At the rate it was growing.
And suddenly he realized the injury he hated saved his life.
Without me tearing my knee, you know, I wasn't gonna take myself out the game for being tired or anything like that.
Right.
I'd have died on the field because I'd have kept taking shots to the chest. So it's a reason, like, God laugh at you when you make the plans.
Right.
The hardest part about the whole thing was telling my bros. My bros would kill for me, man. How would they feel if their youngest brother was not here? No, I said, I can't do it. I can't go. It's for them.
Next was telling his teammates. James showed a clip of Eric Berry, the NFL player who beat cancer and made the Pro Bowl. And right when he got on stage and started talking about it, his voice started cracking. 3/4 of the room broke down crying. James tried to comfort him, saying he'd be alright. But deep down, he had no idea and he was terrified. It felt like he couldn't escape it.
The day later, I go up to Erie, slowly trying to break the news to people. We went to go see that Rocky movie. In the movie, Rocky get cancer, bro. I'm in the movies like I can't even enjoy this shit no more. Like this shit is following me.
When he finally went public, James flipped the script.
Just a few days ago, I actually been diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a cancer. When I heard I got cancer, I was a little scared. But fear is a choice. I chose not to fear cancer. We're gonna fight it and we're gonna beat this thing. Like back when I won the ACC Player of the Year award, I was like, why me? But now I got cancer and it's why not me.
To beat cancer, James needed chemotherapy. 12 rounds of 6-hour sessions. His teammates signed a football and he brought it to every session. It was a reminder of what he was fighting for. But the chemo was brutal.
It's like, bro, the doctor comes out, she comes out with it in a robe, a mask on, gloves, holding it like this. Like it can't get on her skin.
Yeah.
Or else her skin gonna blister. They pumping it inside of me.
The first time he went to the bathroom, his pee was bright red. Shocking. But Eric Berry warned him about it. Doctors offered James a private room, but he refused. He wanted to be around other patients so he could encourage them to keep fighting.
There were patients that were down about things, things weren't going so well, and he would try to encourage them. He wanted people to know he was here, he was getting treated, and he was going to go through it with them.
But further into the chemo, his body started changing. He worked his whole life to be this strong football player. And now when he looked into the mirror, he saw a weak individual. That was tough and painful. So by treatment 6, he hit a wall. He stated, "I remember thinking, I do not want to be here right now. I wanted to get away from everything. I just want to shut my eyes and drift away to somewhere else. Somewhere that didn't include hospitals, masked nurses, and giant needles being forced into my chest." James got closer to God and kept faith.
I used to watch my own highlights. I was like thinking about what it's gonna be like when I come back. I'd be on YouTube watching my shit.
But while he's fighting cancer, there was a whole nother battle going on. He still needed to rehab his knee. He'd show up to practice in a mask, protecting himself because of his low immune system. He told himself no excuses. "I'm a leader on this team."
He would leave his treatments and then either that day or the next day be at the gym working out hard.
Don't tell me your knee hurts, your ankle hurts, and you can't practice. That guy's got a lot of things possibly hurting, and he's going.
I think that really motivates me is the days when he's not there. He's in there getting chemo, and he's sitting in a chair all by himself. I gotta work harder for him today.
On May 9th, 2016, James Conner walked out of his final chemotherapy session. His friends and family wanted to throw a party, but James shut it down. He wanted to wait for the PET scan. For 2 weeks, he barely slept, and his phone never left his hand. Every notification felt like it could change his life. If the cancer was still there, he had to do it all over again. More chemo, more fighting, more time away from football. Then the screen lit up. Dr. Marks.
So we all good? Yes, sir. Hey. That's amazing.
Said I felt like I cried more then than I did when I found out. I just could not get a grip for like a good hour.
Fear is a choice. You don't have to fear nothing. And for everybody in this room donating, one day they'll be able to call themselves a survivor. So I thank all of you. Dr. Marsh, you're the greatest ever for allowing me to call myself a survivor.
But the next battle was already waiting on him. His dream was still to make the NFL. So just 9 months later, after the doctors told him he had 1 week left, James Conner was back, running through the tunnel. The moment he visualized in every chemo session was finally here. And once he got the ball in his hands, it felt like home.
You should see Peterman to Conner, trying to bounce this thing to the outside. Stiff arming, touchdown Pittsburgh!
Although he walked away with 2 touchdowns, he felt like he wasn't himself yet. His conditioning was behind, his strength was missing, but he kept working. Week after week, he'd get closer to his old self. And by late season, something clicked. Against number 2 ranked Clemson, the best defense in the country, he went over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Inside the 10, 5, touchdown!
And by the end of the season, he rushed over 1,000 yards and scored 20 touchdowns. He got rewarded with the Disney Spirit Award as college football's most inspirational figure.
Man, just so blessed. Just playing for everybody, playing for people who can't. So many people wish they was in your shoes, you know, and you just play the game of football for somebody who can't.
It was time to make his dream come true. James Conner declared for the NFL draft. He crushed the combine, proving his body was back. But the NFL is a business, and James was seen as a risk. He tore his MCL a year ago, and his body just beat cancer. So teams were concerned. And at the same time, he's competing in one of the deepest running back classes we've ever seen. Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara. So on draft night, things didn't go as planned. Pick after picks, running backs start flying off the board. And the guy who once looked like a first-round pick was still waiting. Round 3, sitting at Buffalo Wild Wings, wondering if he'd even get a shot.
I was supposed to be a first-round draft pick.
Yeah.
And the money difference from a third-round pick to a first-round, we talking like $20 million. But I'm like, shit, I might not even get drafted at all.
The Denver Broncos select.
Hello?
Congratulations, man, to you and your family, man. We're excited for you. More importantly, man, we're excited about you being a Steeler.
The Pittsburgh Steelers select James Conner, running back Pittsburgh.
Is this the best moment of your life?
Easily.
James Conner accomplished his lifelong dream, but the team that drafted him had the best rusher in the league, Le'Veon Bell.
2nd and 8, Bell through the hole. Bell to the end zone, reaches and in.
It was a weird situation. Bell sat out the entire preseason because of contract negotiations. So James got all the first team reps, thinking he'd be the starter. But a week before the season opener, Bell signed a franchise tag. And just like that, Conner was back on the bench and finished his rookie year with only 32 carries, while Bell went over 1,000 yards. To make things worse, James suffered an injury on his other knee, so he missed the final 3 games. But to him, that was nothing.
I just look at that shit as a bump in the road. I know a couple people would have just hung it up. Like 2 knee injuries, I'm done.
Cancer.
I'm like, this ain't for me. It is for you. Yeah. It's the test though, whether that storm.
So he showed up the next year healthy, ready to take on a bigger role. And again, Bell sat out, but this time, he said he didn't want to sign another franchise tag.
I'm chopping at the bit. Oh, you gonna sit out?
Like,
I'm about to work.
Yeah.
I'm going hard training camp. Best shape ever in my life. They never seen me like this before.
Weeks go by and no Le'Veon Bell. James kept hoping, and Bell never showed up. So in week 1, Conner got a shot and never gave it back. In his debut start, he ran over the Browns for 135 yards and 2 touchdowns. Basically his entire rookie season in a single game. And he didn't slow down, going over 100 yards 4 times in a row and another 2 touchdowns against the Browns. But the injuries kept following him. He suffered an ankle injury against the Chargers and missed 3 games. Still, James put up an incredible season and made the Pro Bowl. And like always, he tried to use his new fame for good.
I love the opportunity when I get to do that because it allows me to give hope, just to see the look on their faces, you know, when we come in there, you know, just the joy it brings. Just I'm able to have that bond and really relate to them because, you know, I know exactly what they're going through.
The next year, James came in with a lot of hype, but the injuries kept following him. Ankle sprains, shoulder problems, knee issues. He had some amazing plays, but also missed sometimes because of injuries. By 2020, Pittsburgh made a tough decision. They drafted Najee Harris in the first round and didn't extend James Conner. So now, he was a free agent. He thanked the organization and the city and moved on to Arizona, where he signed a 1-year prove-it deal. Most people thought James was done. He was 26, coming off injury-plagued seasons with question marks everywhere. But he let everybody know he's far from done.
Hurdles his way, and he is in for the touchdown! Out of the Wildcat, into the end zone!
He became a goal line monster, finishing with 18 touchdowns, leading his team to the playoffs and earning his 2nd Pro Bowl. Arizona saw enough, and James finally secured a long-term deal, signing a 3-year, $21 million contract with $13.5 guaranteed. Now with team captain, he continued his success, going over 1,000 yards for the first time in his career at 28 years old. This dude is playing the best football of his career. In 2024, he continued his success, going over 1,000 yards again despite missing a game. He got another contract, this time a 2-year, $19 million extension. Despite everything he's done in football, James Conner wants his story to be way bigger than that. He wants to be a symbol of hope for everybody going through tough times.
Believe in yourself, and just use your imagination. That's the main thing that got me through it. When I was sitting in that chair getting chemotherapy, I was just, used to just close my eyes and imagine, better days, and sit in that chemo chair and visualizing getting back to the field. So my next move is always get planned in my head before we live it out. Express to others. Just use your imagination, and you can be anything you want to be.
Thank y'all so much for watching. Over 99% of y'all aren't subscribed, so please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, so I can bring you guys more of these incredible stories. See y'all at the next one. Have a blessed day.